What do you think? Should I tell them? Oh, fuck. I was actually anticipating this thing to fall. But, hold on. This is totally unscripted and not at all professional. Hello. So, this is probably one of the biggest projects that I want to get to do right now. And, needless to say, I'm a little excited. Let's just say it's a Pokemon Volt White Egglocke. We're doing it. It's happening. It's happening. It's confirmed. It's gonna happen. This is not scripted. Let's run it down first. Pokemon Volt White. What is that? You're probably thinking to yourself, viewer, what the frickety frack is this crazy dude talking about? Well, Pokemon Volt White is a ROM hack of Pokemon White, obviously. It's a harder version, and it makes everyone want to die when they try to Nuzlocke it. So I figure, you might as well try to Nuzlocke it, right? That seems like the natural occurrence of things, right? But we're doing an Egglocke, which is a little special. Basically, it is you, the people, who are sending me eggs for this Egglocke. Now we're gonna get into how that works, but basically, for those of you who don't know, because I'm sure most of the people that are gonna be seeing this probably don't know anything about Nuzlocke, probably don't know much about Pokemon. So, let's run down the rules of the Nuzlocke. Rule numero uno. You can only catch the first Pokemon in each route. Rule number 2, Pokemon faints, it is dead. It is in the box, it goes there, and it rots. Well, there's a burial sequence. It's very formal. They'll be fine. I mean, they're dead, but they'll be fine. And then the final rule is that you have to nickname all the Pokemon that you catch. And that's where you will come in later. And you know what? Let's just get into how this is going to work and how you send me eggs and all that jazz. And I will run it down in the most, I guess, easy to digest way. I'm going to try to be as, if you don't know about anything about Pokemon, I think you could still do this. I'm going to try to be like that. So let's go ahead and move on over to my display capture. So first things first, how do you even make an egg to send me? Well, you're gonna need a little program by the name of PokeGen. Now I've already downloaded PokeGen before, so I don't need to worry about this. Basically, I'll leave this link in the description. It's a program where you totally legally create Pokemon in this totally legal process. So you just click the link there. Well, let me just do it again. You just go here, click that link, click download the file, and then it's a WinRAR thingy, so you just unzip it or whatever, it goes onto your desktop or whatever. Oh, this just shows just how unscripted this is. This is my links tab that I was gonna do. Well, that's fine. So you just go in, you get the little thing, you open it up. Okay, yeah, that's nice WinRAR. Go in, open it up, and then it should look something like that. Yeah. Okay. Now, I already have it. I don't know if the version matters. I don't think that there's any more versions at this point. But yeah, so this is what it's gonna look like. So let's say, for a few general ground rules in terms of sending the eggs. Rule number 1, the egg must be the lowest stage Pokemon. And again, we'll go into what this means specifically. So we'll go into this first rule. The lowest stage Pokemon basically means that the Pokemon is at the lowest state, like it didn't evolve from anything previously. So for example, Pikachu, the most obvious one, Pikachu is not a valid egg to send because Pikachu has a pre-evo, Pichu. If you want to send me a Pikachu, you want me to use a Raichu or whatever, you have to send me a Pichu. And again, there's gonna be a website that you'll send so that you know exactly what to send so that you don't send in a bad egg that I can't use. But let's just say, for the sake of debate here, let's just say you want to send me a Raichu. So we're gonna go type in Pichu into the species. Secondly, you're gonna need a nickname. For the Nuzlocke rules, or the Egglocke rules, I guess, you do need to nickname the Pokemon. So I don't know, what do you nickname? Let's name it Cheese. We got Cheese the Pichu here. Okay, so for natures, oh, I forgot to think of this. Okay, so I do have a link here. I think, yeah, right here. So this is where it can be a little overwhelming for those of you who don't know that much about Pokemon. But basically, natures are, I don't even know how to describe them. They're aspects of a Pokemon that will either decrease or increase specific stats at dependent on what they are. So for example, the Adamant Nature here lowers the special attack stat and boosts the physical attack stat. Now, again, if you don't know anything about Pokemon, that doesn't mean anything to you. So a special attack stat, let's just pull up Pikachu, or Raichu, rather, on this website. That, again, will be linked. So Raichu here has actually the same special and physical defense, or special and physical attack. This is great that it's unscripted, by the way. I just want to let that be known. But yeah, you just go through and it's got 90 special attack and 90 physical attack, which means that Raichu can be either a physical or a special attacker. So actually, let's pick a better option just for its. Let's go Alakazam. Okay. So say you want to send me an Alakazam. Alakazam clearly has a higher special attack stat than it does a physical attack stat. So that means that when you send in a nature, or you attach a nature to an Alakazam, you're probably going to want to go with a nature that boosts special attack, or other stats that he's got really high, speed, even special defense. If you want to send me like a, let's see, I believe Calm. Yeah, so Calm lowers physical attack, but boosts special defense. So that would be good for an Alakazam, right? Because Alakazam has a pretty low physical attack. You're not going to be using physical attacks with Alakazam, so it makes sense that you would lower that stat. You could also just send in a neutral natured one, if I can find where the neutral natures are. Yeah, here. So a serious nature, that's a neutral one. That means that no stat buffs or increases will occur. So that's like, if you really don't know, you can just set it to serious or whatever. For the sake of this video, let's go ahead and say that we want our Pikachu, our Raichu, to be a special attacker. So we're gonna go with a modest nature, which, if we go back to the website here, is, where's modest? Right there, it is a minus attack and a boosted special attack. So that means that when Pikachu, Raichu, whatever are leveling up, its physical attack is probably going to be lower than its special attack. Held items. So held items, this is another overwhelming thing. Certain Pokemon may require certain evolutionary items. For example, to evolve a Eevee into a Vaporeon, you need a Water Stone. So if you want me to use a Vaporeon, you would need to send in an Eevee holding a Water Stone. Raichu, or Pikachu actually, requires a Thunderstone to fully evolve into Raichu. So if you were to send me a Pikachu, it would be, it would behoove you and me to attach a Thunderstone to it. This is very important. The happiness, you're gonna want that set to 0. Don't mess with it. If it's set to 0, that means that when I get the egg in the game, it'll immediately hatch and I don't have to run around for like 5 minutes trying to hatch the egg. Abilities. Okay, so this is another important factor where you're going to need to do some research if you are not that familiar. So let's go ahead and look up Pichu here in terms of abilities. So right here, we have the abilities that Pichu has available to it. You can choose from either one of these, and then there's also the documentation for Drayano where he added certain abilities. I'll leave the link for the documentation in the description so you can double check to see if certain Pokemon got different abilities. But if you want to stay safe, it's probably best just to go with one of these abilities. So let's see, Pichu has access to the abilities Static and Lightning Rod. And again, if you don't know anything about Pokemon abilities and you're not sure which ability you want to give it, you can go ahead and click on here and it says what the ability does. Again, even if that doesn't help, you can always ask me, you can always ask in the comments, ask in my Discord server, which is also linked in the description. A lot of them are sort of self-explanatory, but again, if you don't know, you don't know. Just ask me, or just pick one. Like, for the most part, you're not gonna screw me on the abilities. But for the sake of this video, that's a great burp for the video. For the sake of this video, we're gonna go ahead and give Pichu the Static ability. That's another burp, that's good. US country origin, that doesn't really matter. Origin, I guess you could just go with white. I don't know if that really matters. Shiny Leaf, doesn't matter. Gender, this, I guess, sort of matters, depending on what you want to nickname it. You know, it can be male or female. We'll just, for the sake of this, we'll just make it male. Egg, this is very important. You need to check that box because we need them to be eggs when they are sent to me. Please, of all things, other than obviously all the legality stuff so that the Pokemon is a viable Pokemon that I can use that won't be just illegal, like won't be able to actually exist in the game. You need this. This is one of the most important aspects. Shiny, so if you don't know, there are recolorings of Pokemon, called shiny Pokemon, which are extraordinarily rare and stuff and stuff. So as you can see, this is Pichu's shiny, and then I think you can also go ahead and look at Raichu's shiny if you really want to see. So let's go to Raichu, all the way down here. That is what Raichu's shiny looks like there. I think actually, yeah, they don't actually show it there, but that is what Raichu's shiny coloration looks like there. So yeah, if you prefer the shiny coloration, I mean, even if you don't like this layout on the website, you can always just Google shiny and then its Pokemon name, and it should come up, and you'll be able to see its coloration compared to the original coloration. I don't really care that much. It doesn't make that much of a difference whether the Pokemon is or isn't shiny. If you like the shiny, make it shiny. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't give it any sort of boost or anything. But next we're going to go to the Met tab, and let's see, game, it doesn't really matter. Location, again, this doesn't really matter. Let's just say for this, let's just go Black City. Ball, this sort of matters in that when you throw a Pokeball or throw your Pokemon out, the ball has a different animation depending on what the ball is. Barely matters, really. You can just do whatever ball. Let's just do a great ball. Level, I don't think this matters, but if you really want to make sure, just put it to 2, or put it to 1, because that's what leveled Pokemon will hatch at. Faithful Encounter as an egg caught in a building. This also doesn't really matter. You can put this as pretty much anything. We'll just say Distortion World. That this Pichu came from the inner sanctum of hell, apparently. But moving on, we have the stats. So this is another aspect. So first of all, don't give it any EVs. Don't hit randomize EVs. Don't hit any of this. I would hit randomize IVs just once or twice or however many times you want to do it. You can give it perfect IVs, which would be 31 points across the board. That doesn't really matter that much. I mean, it matters in the sense that it probably will make Pokemon better, but for the sake of difficulty, I would appreciate if you just hit the randomize IVs once or twice, whatever you really want. So another thing, attacks. So let's go back to Pichu here. So every Pokemon obviously gonna have only 4 attacks. Now Pichu, the way to determine which attacks you can put on the Pokemon is based on either, there's 2 options. So first of all, we're playing Gen 5, so you want to hit the Gen 5 button, and we want to hit Black and White. So the only available options for moves you can put on the Pokemon, and I'm going to say this multiple times, if the Pokemon learns the move at level 1, or it is one of the egg moves in the egg moves category. If it doesn't learn any egg moves, then you can only choose the level 1 moves. I'm going to repeat that. Only the moves that are level 1 or the egg moves. Not the TM moves, not the special moves, not the transfer only moves, none of that. Just the egg moves and the level 1 moves. Again, in the documentation for the game, you can find if there's any differences that are not on this website. I'm not entirely sure if there really are, but you can just double check if you really want. So Pichu here can learn Charm, Thunder Shock at level 1, and it can also learn Thunder Punch, Reversal. And again, if you don't know what moves to pick, I mean, it's not like, again, you can ask me. It's very, what's the word? If you don't know which moves to pick, probably best option is just to go with the level 1 moves. The egg moves can be a bit overwhelming, especially if you don't know, like, what does Charge do? Is that a useful move? What does Bide do? I don't know what any of these moves do. You can ask, you can click the move, and you can see what it does, and if you just want to fill up the moveset and you're just like, whatever, let's give him Wish. Let's just say we're gonna give it Wish, we're gonna give it Thunder Punch, no, right there, Thunder Punch, and Charm and Thunder Shock. There you go. That's a very simple way of doing it. Nothing really complex about that. And then a Real Trainer Miscellaneous, this is nothing, doesn't really matter. I don't think any of these really matter either. Okay, so you've got your Pokemon, you've got it all set up, all that jazz, it's all ready to go. So then you're gonna want to go to, I believe it is here. So you're gonna want to hit this F key right here, and if you want it to be shiny, again, you would have to hover over this, and it says right here, in order for Pokemon to be shiny, if it's checked, only a shiny PID will match. If it's shaded, it'll include both shiny and non-shiny, and if it's unchecked, then it'll be non-shiny. So if you really don't want it to be shiny, you would leave it open. If you really want it to be shiny, you make it a check mark. If you don't really care, just put it there. So ability, I think that based on the ability that you want, it would be the first ability on the list on the website is 1. So in this case, it would be static is 1, and whatever the other ability, that would be 2. So we wanted static, so we're gonna make it 1. And let's just go ahead and we got all this all set up, and we just hit search, and there you go. You got your Pokemon. You click on that, you hit OK, and then just to double check, you set it right there by right-clicking and then hitting set, and there's your Pokemon. So then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go ahead and file and save the Pokemon from tabs. You can save it onto your desktop. Doesn't really, like, we'll just nickname it Cheese. Right onto the desktop. Where it went? There we go. There it is. Okay, so there it is. There you have your PKM file. So then what you're going to want to do with your PKM file is you're going to want to go and email that file to, let me just double check. Did I not put it? I believe it is, I'll put it on the screen anyways in the video. It is, I believe, raptorvoltwhiteegglocke@gmail.com. That's where you want to email it to. If you have any problems with that, message me on Discord, join my server, it's in the link in the description. And that's pretty much it. Again, if you have any questions about the Pokemon making process, about abilities, about moves, about items, all that jazz, you can find all the information on the website, but I know if you don't play Pokemon, if you don't know anything about Pokemon, it can be a bit overwhelming. See, yeah, I don't really know how to end the video, so here's a picture of a random animal I found. Yeah, that's pretty random. Yeah, I guess that's it. I got nothing else to say. So hopefully, final thing, just because I almost forgot. You can send me as many eggs as you want. You can send me 5, 10, 20, if you want to make a bazillion, make as many as you want and send as many as you want, because we need to have a lot of eggs. We need to have, at least in my mind, like 3 boxes full of eggs, and each box here is 30 Pokemon. So ideally, just send me as many as you want. It can be any Pokemon that is viable, so no legendaries. And again, if you don't know if a Pokemon's legendary, just ask me. And they have to be the lowest stage Pokemon. So if a Pokemon can evolve, or can't evolve, nothing evolved into it, then it's the lowest stage, like Pichu to Pikachu. So yeah, this is completely unscripted, so yeah, throw up that weird animal again, Michael, that was good, yeah, okay. Alright, hit the end button, there you go.